Hi, I'm Hadassah with Plytix's product team, and I'm here to share what's new in Plytix in July. We've released some features that improve navigation in the product overview table, such as new keyboard shortcuts, column header options, and in-table editing. We've also implemented some improvements in the product detail page, including expanded filters and new ways to manage non-family attributes and parent attribute values. Finally, we're releasing the first version of Plytix Webhooks. Stick to the end of the video to not miss out on any releases, or skip to the part that you're most curious about by selecting our chapters below. Let's start by diving into what's new in the product overview. Navigating our product overview page has become even easier. I won't say you won't need to lift a finger to do it, but you won't need to move your hand from the keyboard to the mouse back and forth as often. These keyboard shortcuts will significantly reduce clicks and time, which is always a plus. With your own keyboard, you can now search for products, switch between table and grid view, show and hide filters, create a new product, and this is my personal favorite, you can undo and redo your last changes, which helps me undo an edit even after it's saved, or bring it back up if I change my mind. You can find a full list of all our keyboard shortcuts in our Help Center. We also know that when you're in focus mode, the fewer things there are to disrupt it, the better. This is why we've added 2 new in-column features to keep you focused on your work without having to switch tabs. To access them, right-click on the column header you want to manage, or hover over it and click on this arrow. You'll see 2 new column options pop up: Edit Attribute and Hide Attribute. This means you can edit attribute elements like name, description, and drop-down and multi-select options directly from the product overview. You can also quickly hide columns you no longer want to see without needing to head over to the Edit Columns menu. Speaking of attribute management, you can add new multi-select and drop-down options on the go directly within the cell. Just type in the value you want, and if you see it doesn't already exist, just click on Add. In the variance view, you can also see when an attribute that's inherited from the parent has been overwritten. You can even resync it without having to leave the table if you want to re-establish the inheritance link with the parent product. The product overview isn't the only page that has some enhancements. You can find improved functionalities in the product detail page as well. With the expansion of the product families feature, which you can learn more about in our previous release notes video, we added new attribute filters to a product's detail page. You can choose to view all your attributes or filter by attributes with filled or empty values. If your product belongs to a family, you can also filter by attribute status. Attribute status filters will look slightly different if your product is a single, meaning it has no variants, a parent, or a variant. For single products, you can filter by attributes within the family or out of the family. For parents, you have additional options to filter by the inheritance status of those attributes. And for variants, in addition to these options, you can filter by attributes with overwritten values too. Now, if you want to just remove all non-family attributes from your individual product, you can do it by clicking Remove All instead of manually removing one non-family attribute at a time. Just be careful, as that will delete the content of those attributes in that product. If you would like to manually copy the attribute values from a parent to its variant, you can do so by clicking Copy Values in the Variants tab. This is different from setting an attribute's inheritance status on, as manually copying parent values won't continuously update the variant with changes from the parent for a particular attribute. This makes it a more suitable tool when you're looking to manually copy the parent value to a variant for a particular attribute without creating an inheritance link. One last thing I'd like to mention in the product detail page is that if you move one step over to the Assets tab, you can now edit an asset's name directly in table without having to head over to the Assets detail. Less tabs open, more focus, fewer clicks, more time. Last but not least, we're releasing the first version of Webhooks in Plytix, which allows you to get notified about your channel processing information on an external platform. The first setup is simple, and we have some guides on how to navigate it in our Help Center. If you're interested in trying it out, reach out to your Customer Success Manager to enable it in your account. That's it for this video. Remember, you can stay on top of our latest updates in our Release Notes blog and find more comprehensive guides on how to use Plytix in our Help Center. I'll see you next month.